All right. Welcome to a special edition of Raw Dogs. I'm your host, Bay. I'm joined here tonight by my friend Louis Conyer. How you doing there, Louis?
What's up? I love your intro.
Oh
I love that intro, bro.
yeah. Same same spot as the other one.
Yeah.
Let me pause
I'm
that.
definitely going to contact the brother.
So let me bring this down a little bit. So what we're gonna do here tonight, we're gonna break down this Browns depth chart. All right. So as you said, you're a Bengals fan.
Yes, I am.
All right. And I mean, we don't hold it against y'all. Y'all are the Browns' little brother.
Yeah, direct lineage from Paul Brown. We're the bastard redhead stepchild.
It's okay. We we appreciate y'all. Y'all always give us a good game.
Yeah, it's funny. The If you're a hardcore football fan, Paul Brown's DNA goes very deep. Even into, if you know your history, even to, if it wasn't for Paul Brown, you wouldn't even have the 49ers dynasty that you have. So, and even Baltimore, and even you can make an argument with New England, the Patriots dynasty, if you go real deep into the DNA. So, but that's a little trivia for your hardcore football fanatics. So,
Yeah, didn't Bill Parcells and Bill Walsh cross paths once? It's like
um,
assistant coaches.
well, I know. Well, Bill Walsh was a coach on with Paul Brown with the infant Bengals team, in his infancy. But Paul Brown with his ego, the Bengals could have been a dynasty, but with him being an egomaniacal maniac that he was with his ego, that's what caused Bill Walsh to leave and go to the 49ers.
Which when we had no team,
Yeah,
I picked up the Niners.
yeah.
And man, what a rich history since Bill. I mean, even before Bill Walsh, but once Bill Walsh got there, he trained him, Eddie DeBartolo.
Sam Weish. You gotta remember, Sam Weish was part of that
Yep,
first.
he was the offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, they gave us one of the best Super Bowls ever. The master and the student.
yeah.
Yeah. Quarterback was the difference. Quarterback was the difference, and the surrounding pieces.
West Coast offense.
Yeah,
Paul Brown.
it set a standard. It set a standard, just like Buffalo, the '90s Buffalo Bills. They set a standard, and it
Yeah.
looks like their standard of offense is come back. The spread.
Well, with Buffalo, and it's funny when the Bengals made the last Super Bowl run, which was 88. Wait,
Mm-hmm.
80. Wait a minute. See, it was 88 under Sam Weish. Used the no huddle, and when the Bengals had beat Buffalo, they complained about the no huddle offense, and then they perfected it, and they went on that 4-year dominance in the AFC from
Yeah,
utilizing the West Coast the with the K gun and the no huddle. They
yeah,
weaponized it.
yeah. It was
Although
that
they
no
didn't win a
huddle
Super Bowl
that kept
from it.
teams. Yeah, it was that no huddle that kept teams off balance.
And it fatigued the defense.
Yeah, because all three of those guys were stallions. James Lofton, Andre Reed, and Tom Beebe in the slot.
And you ran Thurman Thomas.
Yep. And you had McKellar at tight end. He was a pass catching tight end who could, kind of halfway block. I remember that offense very well.
Because I was it's funny. I at the time I was a hardcore Bengal fan. Although I hated the 49ers because they beat us twice in the Super Bowl, but I wasn't a zealot. I had a profound respect for the 49ers because of how their team was constructed and, their performance. And I was also a fan of Buffalo for what they achieved. Like, I appreciated their accomplishments as an overall football fan at the time.
Oh,
I appreciated them.
Oh,
just
yeah.
like this.
Get their flowers.
Like, I'm a hardcore Celtics fan, but I always appreciated the Lakers, although I hated them because they were our rival. But I appreciated their accomplishments, and also I appreciated what Detroit and Chicago has done.
Look, Michael Jordan, ever since he killed the Cavaliers with that infamous shot over Craig Elo in the playoff game that won the game with no time on the clock, I've become a Michael Jordan fan just by studying him. Like, let me see what is so amazing about this guy. Because I had one of my friends in my living room saying, "Oh no, man, the Bulls are gonna win this because of Michael Jordan." And I'm watching Michael Jordan just kill us. And he did it every year in the playoffs, and it was like, who is this man?
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
All right. Although I consider Kareem Abdul-Jabbar the greatest basketball player of all time, but we're just going to use Michael Jordan for the argument. Do you think Michael Jordan will be where he is in the Pantheon if it wasn't for Phil Jackson's scheme?
I think it wasn't so much the scheme, it was the pieces around him were perfectly in place. Do you understand?
Uh-huh.
Horace Grant was to distribute the ball. Paxton was to make the big shots. Paxton, Kerr, who was the other guy?
And Pippen, because of his athleticism, it prevented Michael Jordan from being double teamed.
Right. So, if Michael don't get you, Pippen will.
But here's the thing. They had what was it, Doug Collins? Did Doug Collins have Pippen?
No.
Yeah, Doug Collins.
No.
Wait.
No.
So Pippen came when Phil Jackson was coach?
Yeah.
Okay.
From my recollection, because when Jordan was beating us, Scottie Pippen was not on the team.
Okay. You had Oakley.
We had
Oakley was on the team then, right?
Huh?
Oakley was still on the team.
Right. I mean, it was at any rate. I don't want to get I can say is that to me, Michael is the greatest geometrist to ever play the game. He was a magician at getting the ball in that hoop up close. You understand? I mean, he was shooting free throws with his eyes closed, hitting nothing but net. I mean, I'll never forget. It was a playoff game. He wound up getting fouled. Okay, He went up, the guy grabbed his arm, twink, they called the foul. So he took the ball, he bounced it twice, and then he threw it over the back of his head. Keep in mind, play is over. Threw the ball over the back of his head, damn near at the 3-point line, and it went in. Swoosh. Nothing but net. The greatest geometrist to ever play the game. Do you understand? Because that's geometry. That dude is a magician. I don't care what y'all got to say. Just, whatever you all put on there, make sure y'all put magician on the plaque. Because some of those shots were amazing. A lot of those shots were amazing. Ooh. At any rate, this is a football channel.
Yes, sir.
The reason why I bring up the Bills is because their biggest flaw was their defense. All right. Their biggest weakness was their defense. Now, had they had beaten the Giants in that first Super Bowl, had their kicker made that kick, Scott Norwood, wide right, had he made that kick, Buffalo's destiny would have changed. Okay? But the Giants showed the blueprint on how to beat them.
Bill Belichick, the genius.
And Bill Parcells, the strategist. West Point. Both of them, if I'm not mistaken. Bill Parcells ran the ball. He didn't have any other choice. He had Jeff Hostetler. Phil Simms went out.
And Mark Bavaro.
If it wasn't for Roger Craig's fumble, the 49ers would have been in the Super Bowl. And they'd have beat the brakes off of Buffalo because they had the defense to stop them, because they had a better pass rush than the Giants. Lawrence Taylor was there on his last legs. Shit, Rice and Taylor, Brent Jones. They've been running roughshod all over Buffalo's little tiny ass corners.
Well, 49ers had a far superior defense, but more importantly, they had a far superior offensive line also.
Yeah, plus they had a pass rush. They had Charles Haley. That guy was a beast. Okay? He was Myles Garrett if Myles Garrett was psychotic. No offense to Charles Haley. I'm just saying, man. I mean, come on. We all know the stories. Shoot. At any rate, I mean, good Lord. We can't wait to see what Myles Garrett do this year. Now that, he's saying that, hey, they're off the leash. He said they off the leash. They running wild. Darius Smith. All right, Delvin Tomlinson. This is a whole different team. Buffalo never addressed their defensive line. They were still light in the ass. They were built to just pass rush. Bruce Smith was their pass rusher. Everybody else was just there to take up blocks. They had quick, fast linebackers, but they didn't have run-stuffing linebackers. So, I mean, Dallas was just Emmitt Smith. That 300-something plus pound offensive line. They just, man, please. I could have ran through that line for 300 yards. That offensive line was big. Dallas's offensive line was massive. You understand? They were massive. They were blowing people off the ball. Of course, they blew Buffalo out. And they wound up getting Charles Haley from the 49ers. They pushed that line back into his face. Let the edge rushers do what they do. That's how you build a championship defense. If you're going to have quick, fast linebackers, and you're going to have some really good cover corners that can also play zone, you get the right steady captain back there to call the signals. Make sure that's a surefire tackler that makes sure everybody's in position and everything, which they did when they got Thornhill. I mean, we're going to go through this roster. Matter of fact, now's a good time to start. Yep. So, of course, we know we got Amari Cooper. I'm going through it by order right here. So, he's backed up by Cedric Tillman, which is good because, in all honesty, Cedric Tillman to me he's a younger, more energetic version of Amari Cooper. He got that big body type. Like Amari Cooper is not a burner. He's not going to beat you deep or anything like that. And neither is Cedric Tillman, but they're going to make the catch. They're sure-handed people. Those are some sure-handed wide receivers. So, I mean, of course, you're grooming him to take Amari Cooper's place because of the money. I mean, you're paying Amari Cooper, what, $20 million a year? That's crazy. That's crazy. That's too much. That's why you got him from Dallas on the cheap. Dallas gave him up to you for a 6th-round pick. He was cap space. So, and I mean, he's not really spectacular, but he will make the catch, which is spectacular, I guess. Donovan Peoples-Jones is the same type of wide receiver as Amari Cooper. Of course, he's younger. He's up for contract. All right. His contract will be up. He's playing in a contract year. They'll probably they might exercise the option, but the Browns, they made a lot of cap space. All right. You got Myles Garrett giving up money. Who has Jedrick Wills gave up money. Deshaun Watson he moved some money around. These guys, they're making cap space. We have the most cap space in the NFL. Even though they talked all of this mess about Deshaun Watson's contract, the guaranteed money. You remember that?
No, I don't.
Oh, man, they made such a big deal because, okay, like, just to catch you up to speed, Baker Mayfield, he regressed, all right? Because, okay, look, I'm going to be honest about the whole Baker Mayfield situation. Let's just put it to bed. I had faith in him. All right. Once they fired Hugh Jackson and took the offensive coordinator with him because Hugh Jackson was spying on Todd Haley, the offensive coordinator. He was he was in Pittsburgh. He took the Kansas City job. I think it was under his watch where the one linebacker he shot and killed his baby mama, and then drove to the facility and shot and killed himself in the parking lot in front of his teammates.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was the head coach at the time. It was either him or Andy Reid's first time on the job, but I think it may have been under his watch. I'm not sure. If I'm wrong, okay, I'm wrong. So, at any rate, he was out of Kansas City. So, of course, he wound up coming on to the Browns. All right. Sashi Brown had a plan. Sashi Brown had a plan. He had cut all of the dead weight and decided to go ahead, get a lot of draft picks, get a whole lot of cap space, and then start drafting good players around, in the franchise, all your bits and pieces, corners, pass rushers, offensive linemen, running backs, everything, and then get your quarterback. All right. And then give him time to grow because you got this running back, Nick Chubb, who turned out to be amazing. First time we saw Nick Chubb touch the football in the NFL, he looked like a fucking wide receiver. He was running down the sideline in the spread offense. I mean, you thought he was a wide receiver. He was gone. And he scored. First touch of the ball. 2 touches later, same thing. Long touchdown run. Barely touched. Like, who is this Nick Chubb dude? Why is he not getting the ball? So, when they fired them, Greg Williams did what you're supposed to do with a rookie quarterback. You lean on the run, you play action pass, throw when you need to, and you lean heavily on your defense to keep it close. So the Browns were winning games like that because, the Browns had a good defense. We had Nick Chubb and Baker Mayfield. They kept it simple for him. So, yeah, of course we were winning games. So they wanted to hire Kevin Stefanski the following year. But Hugh Jackson wound up getting Sashi Brown fired over a trade with the Bengals for a second and third round pick for a quarterback I don't even think is even in the league anymore. And that second round pick would have turned around to be Nick Chubb. Sashi Brown messed up the trade. So he took the axe, he fell on the sword. But they were supposed to have promoted Andrew Berry, who's the GM now. He was supposed to have been promoted, but instead they hired this other guy. I don't even want to mention his name, but Dorsey. So he drafted Baker Mayfield. We gave him a shot. Then Dorsey, instead of them going with Stefanski, he hired this Freddie Kitchens guy, and that was horrible. And he regressed. And then they brought in Stefanski. Once Baker started playing within the offense, the Browns were blowing teams out at halftime. All right, by halftime. And the defense with Myles Garrett they just pinned their ears back. Pass rush the shit out of you. Because you had to throw to get into the game. So he was feeding off of that. But when he got hurt the following year, when there was the contract year, all right, he was playing selfish football. He wasn't playing within the offense. He was making bad reads. He was already pressing, trying to get the ball to OBJ. All right, he was pressing. So he was throwing bad balls, and it started fucking with his confidence. But when OBJ wasn't in the game, the pressure was off of his shoulders to try to make a play with OBJ, and he was, he was fine. And it wound up affecting both of them to where OBJ wound up getting shipped out. It wasn't OBJ's fault. I understand what his father did with the tape, because people was blaming OBJ. Even I thought that OBJ was washed until I saw the tape, and I'm like, oh wow. And then Kurt Warner did the all 22 on Baker Mayfield, and I was like, oh my God.
What did Kurt Warner do again?
He did the all 22. All right, that's where he break down the film, the offensive game plans, the quarterback play.
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying that some of it wasn't Baker's fault, but a lot of it was because he was making bad reads, and when he did make the right read, he couldn't get the ball to the right spot. And it was before he got hurt.
Okay.
It was before he got hurt. And he said it got even worse when he did get hurt. And he should have sat down. Like he should have just sat down, because then the Browns would have went ahead and did what they would have went ahead and went with the option, his 5th-year option. Then he could have went on into, all he had to do was just go on injured reserve. They would have been forced to go with this 5th-year option, and then he would have been still the starter the following year. And Deshaun Watson probably wouldn't even be in Cleveland. But because he made it about himself trying to play for a contract year, the Browns was like, nope, he's not ready. He's regressed. He's gotten worse. He's not even coachable now. I mean, nobody would touch him. He was toxic. And now he's down in Tampa Bay. Then there's rumors about Mike Evans wanting to trade, And I'm like, in all honesty, if I was Tampa Bay, when Tom Brady retired, I would have just totally went ahead and tanked the team. I'd have tanked the team and tried to get into the Caleb Williams sweepstakes. Or better yet, I mean, that's probably why you bring in a Baker Mayfield. He's trash. His confidence is garbage. I mean, not even the Rams coach wanted to keep him. And that guy loves quarterbacks. So he's there. It's like Dumb and Dumber out there in Tampa Bay, a quarterback. But yeah, I would have had a fire sale. I would have traded Evans, everybody that was worth something. Sayonara for draft picks. If I can get something for you, you're out of here. We're going to tear it down and rebuild it all from scratch. At least we got a Super Bowl ring out of it. It was fun while it lasted, but business is business. That's the whole Kate York situation. The kid, he was a 4th-round pick last year. He made the big kick against Carolina, won the game against Baker Mayfield. All right. Don't know what the hell was going on with the defense. The secondary was so out of place. I mean, we fixed that now. We just got rid of one person, John Johnson, pulling up on tackles. Yes, this is Raw Dogs Radio. Steel trapped. Y'all remember he got ran over twice at the goal line in the Steelers game on national TV. After that, he just stopped trying to tackle. He was out there making business decisions. The Ravens game, Remember that? He pulled up.
Don't get yourself too depressed.
I mean,
Focus.
do understand. We know the problem is fixed. We got Thornhill. He'll be a solid captain calling the signals unless they give it to Grant Delpit. All right. If they give it Thornhill, that's cool because I mean he's won Super Bowls with Kansas City. He's probably called the signals in their secondary. So here, call him here. Get these guys in order. And he's a solid tackler. So that's it. Because it looks like in this defense, Grant Delpit is going to play the Troy Polamalu position. But he's just going to be a wrecking ball at the line of scrimmage.
So he's basically gonna have free reign.
Yeah.
That's so he's like he's like the Charles Haley of the secondary.
Yeah. So, all right. So in this other slot, you got Elijah Moore, which he's the speed guy. So is Marquise Goodwin. All right, Marquise Goodwin is a speed guy. All right, he's good he's a faster version of DPJ, Donovan Peoples-Jones. All right, and Elijah Moore is really the weapon. You know, he's going to be lined up in the backfield and the slot out wide. He can play it all, but he's also going to be used as a decoy. We saw that in the last game where it looked like he was going to throw a screen to Elijah Moore, the linebacker drifted over to the right, but instead he threw it in the middle, in the slot, where the linebacker vacated to DPJ. That's what Deshaun Watson did. So you see how they're going to use him in various ways. But he's backed up by David Bell. Now, this was a questionable start, okay? Because Andrew Berry does not like to cut his draft picks. But you had the kid Austin, who luckily, Austin Watkins, he's on the practice squad. Luckily, he's on the practice squad. So he's getting a paycheck, all right? He can feed his family. We're making sure he can feed his family. But people wanted him over David Bell because that kid was amazing. He's a third-year pro. He was playing in the, I think the Arena League or Overseas League, one of those minor leagues.
You mean the World League?
Yeah, something like that. He was playing one of them leagues. So,
well, it's NFL Europe now.
Okay. Well, he was looking damn near better than Cedric Tillman. And Cedric Tillman was looking good. Okay? He was looking good. So, but so Bale got the start. He got to be on the roster. So Jedrick Wills, this is a make it or break it year with him. They got to do this option. I think they haven't done this option yet or refused it, but he did take less money, or maybe they did take it, but he did change his contract. Excuse me. Hudson is a serviceable backup. It is what it is. Joe Bitonio, the old veteran, he'll probably, if healthy, probably get to play in his first ever playoff game. When we beat the Steelers, he was injured, so he didn't get to play. It was a great game, boy, because, man, we beat the hell out of Ben Roethlisberger. And he was out. He couldn't play. So they did exactly what I thought they would probably do, is move Luke Whippler, the rookie center, move him over the guard behind, either Joe Batonio or Wyatt Teller. All right, just the simple fact that there's not a backup for Wyatt Teller tells me that Luke Whippler will probably be playing in both spots. All right, but you needed Nick Harris to stay at that center spot. All right, because people were like, well, what do you, if you like Luke Whippler, you kept him on the roster. What about Nick Harris? Is he trade bait? Well, it looks like the answer is no. Because if Posick goes down, you're going to need a solid veteran to come in and back up that line. And Nick Harris, he knows the system. He's bigger than Luke Whippler. He's going to have to bulk up. Joe Batonio and Wyatt Teller, I'm sure they'll take him under their wing. He'll probably learn off of Nick Harris. All right, so he'll probably be in both rooms back and forth, learning their positions while he bulks up. So then you move over to right tackle with Jack Conklin, who they re-signed to a big contract. All right, because they had no other option at right tackle in free agency. If he was to be on the market, he would be the top free agent. So they just went ahead and gave him his money. All right. So, but the thing is, he's always been injured. He's off injured. So you needed to have a good backup for him. So luckily, Dawand Jones fell into their lap in the draft in like the 4th round. All right. This dude playing like a starter already. All right. So that's good news because
what school he came from?
He came from Ohio State, just like Luke Whippler. And Tillman came from Tennessee. All right. So if he goes down, Dawand Jones can hold it down until Conklin comes back. And this will probably be Conklin's last year. All right. He'll probably be trade bait, if not a salary cap casualty, unless he take a pay cut in his contract to at least stay on his team. Because it's going to be hard out there, So, because he's aging, he's off injured, and he's going to have a high contract. So it'd be best if he take a pay cut and just be the backup. Be a mentor. Help the guy out. Shit, and we'll shop you. If somebody will take you at a lesser contract, we'll let you go. Like, we're not going to hold you hostage, but let's be honest, nobody's going to take on that high-ass contract. I mean, that's just business. So, David Njoku, this is a make it or break it year for him. Hopefully, he's done with the dropsies. He's really great in the end zone, though. But like out in the open field, easy catches. Sometimes he get the dropsies, and he'll make the tough catch. Jordan Atkins, he's just a pass catching tight end, and Harrison Bryant is because there was nobody else better than him in camp. Of course, Deshaun Watson, Dorian Thompson Robinson, DTR is his backup. That's the rookie. This guy's amazing.
What school he came from?
He came from UCLA.
Okay.
This dude, look what let me tell you what he did in the preseason game. Okay, in one game, he threw a block he gave a pitch out to Felton. All right, Demetric Felton, and he ran out and threw a block on the corner that helped spring Felton to go in for the touchdown, like a 17-yard touchdown run. All right. And I was like, wow. I was like, this kid really loved playing football. So then turn around. I think we were playing Washington or Denver. Oh, Washington. So this dude, he's throwing a block. All right. It's a screen pass. He threw the pass. He went out. He threw a block on the corner. All right. The corner circled around to go and make the tackle. DTR followed him and hit him with a hellacious block where he got hit with a 15-yard personal personal foul for unnecessary roughness. He lit that dude up. And I said, you know what? Take him out the game before he hurts himself. Like, dude, like, relax. You won the backup job. Shit. Don't kill yourself out there. You out there looking like a freaking basketball player. You looking kind of light. Relax. You know, eat some steaks. Get some build on you before you go out here, you know, snot bubbling defensive backs. But I love his spirit. That kid can play. They got him, I believe, in the 5th round. Yeah, they got him in the 5th round. He was a steal. He looked like 2nd round talent. Nick Chubb, of course, the spread, because they're running the spread. If you see, they got the 3 wide receivers here. They're running that K gun. All right, they running that K gun. Nick Chubb is very good. Because he used to be a track star in high school, and I think he ran in college. All right, and this dude is like Jim Brown. He is strong. You ain't arm tackling Nick Chubb. He will run you over. Okay, but he's backed up by Jerome Ford. Now, Ford is coming off an injury, so I don't know how well he's going to play, right? If he's going to play. And then, you know, Pierre Strong Jr., I mean, he had a solid preseason, but I'd have rather they had kept Felton because, I mean, at least he can catch, you know, but whatever. So, defensively, now this is the beauty of it. All right. Zadarius Smith was the Browns' biggest free agent signing. All right. Because finally they got somebody that could be opposite of Myles Garrett that could rush the passer. Now, of course, he's backed up by Isaiah McGuire. He's solid, but, you know, he's a rookie.
What school he came from?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Let's take a look. He came from Missouri.
Okay.
All right, came from Missouri. Okay. All right. Second team All SEC in 2022. Underrated edge defender. All right. Plays with motive and explosive power. All right. All right. Okay. Then the second biggest signing was Delvin Tomlinson. Because Delvin Tomlinson can stop the run. Plus, he can push the pocket back. He can collapse the pocket. As can Shelby Harris. All right. Maurice Hurst on a good day, maybe. You know, he's solid. He can at least stop, but he can at least play the run. All right. Siaka Ika. He's from Baylor. Right, this is the second defensive tackle in team history that I know of. Well, since they've been back, they've taken a defensive tackle from Baylor. We'll see what they can do. They got to whip him into shape, though. So he'll probably be in on goal line situations. Shelby Harris, he's a line pusher, and he can play the run. So can Jordan Elliott. For some reason, they're starting him over Shelby Harris in the Bengals game. I don't know why. Maybe Shelby's still learning the system. You don't want to have him out there as your weakest link. So, Jordan Elliott, you're up. All right. Let's see what you can do. Maybe he impressed in camp. Who knows? Of course, you got Myles Garrett and Agbo Akronakwo. Now, this guy right here, he came from the Houston Texans. We played the Houston Texans last year. This guy was a terror. Do you understand me? He was a terror. Jedrick Wills couldn't block him. So when the Browns signed him, I said, oh, good. They finally gave Myles Garrett some help. But then they signed Zadarius Smith, and I was like, oh, okay. Now they got some depth. All right, now they got some depth. So that's good because he can fill in if Isaiah McGuire, can't cut it. So, and of course, JOK, his problem was that he was always out of position. All right, he was just out there roaming around. And the biggest problem was that there was no discipline on defense. Defensive coordinator Joe Woods just had no control over his defense. All right. So when they fired him and they brought in Jim Schwartz has always been a disciplinarian, and he's always had some top-rated defenses. All he needed was horses. Well, they got the horses right here. But with the Browns linebackers, with JOK, Anthony Walker Jr., and Sione Takitaki, all right, these guys, they're not run-stuffing linebackers. I mean, Walker Jr., he can play the run. Sione Takitaki is versatile enough to play the run. And, I mean, JOK, he's quick, he's fast, he'll get on you quick. All right, but these guys are really for pass coverage, just like Tony Fields, Muhammad Diabate, and Matthew Adams. All right, but Matthew Adams is lucky to be on the team. So in today's NFL, you need linebackers that can cover running backs and wide receivers in the slot and tight end. All right, so they're pretty much the perfect trio. All right, because you're going to be relying on your defensive line to play the run on the way to the quarterback. These guys, they're going to create gaps for the linebackers and the corners and safeties to shoot right through on a blitzing attacking defense based on down and distance. All right, so they're perfect for the scheme. It's just a matter of, let's hope nobody goes down with an injury, because behind you is inexperiencedness like a motherfucker. You're in trouble. Ooh, you're in trouble. Anyway, so let's move on to corners. Martin Emerson Jr. was a beautiful surprise. He came out of Mississippi Valley State, all right, if I'm not mistaken. And I am. He came out of Mississippi State. All right. Now this guy was surprisingly good. He was actually a steal in the draft. All right. He was a steal in the draft. 3rd round pick. We stole him. He is balled out, which is good because he plays opposite of Denzel Ward. All right. Now, Greg Newsome, he's the nickelback. All right. At first, he was opposite of Denzel Ward, but Martin Emerson Jr. just outplayed him. But that doesn't mean that Newsome is trash. It just means that Emerson could start. Emerson, in all honesty, the Browns could boldly trade Denzel Ward and bump Newsome up and Emerson up, and you would still have 2 top corners. Do you understand?
Yep.
Yeah, they would still have 2 top corners. Now, DeAnthony Bell is okay, but Ronnie Hickman is a whole lot better. All right, he was a free agent. Ronnie Hickman was a free agent from Ohio State. He made the team. This dude didn't do nothing in the preseason but make plays. All right, just like Muhammad Diabate. They just made plays. So, at either rate, you've got some players. Thornhill, this is the safety I was talking about. He'll keep the glue together. Grant Delpit, of course, is strong safety. Backed up by DeAnthony Bell. Khalifa Alase, I'm not sure about him. I didn't really see much in the preseason.
What defense are they running? Are they
They're
doing
a 4-4-3.
a 4-3?
Yeah, but probably more so of a 4-2 because of how NFL offenses are. Depends on who they playing. That's why Greg Newsome being the nickelback is so crucial. You understand? You may have lost your starting spot, but you still getting playing time in the nickel. You can still make the Pro Bowl as a nickel cornerback. You understand? Because the nickel cornerback covers the guy who's the go-to receiver. So you're covering the most critical player on the most critical play in a game. All you got to do is make the play. Let the other guys take care of the deep threats, the outside threats. You handle the inside threat. You handle the slot. You know what I'm saying? That's why Cedric Tillman and Elijah Moore, that's why they're there. They're the slot guys. They're not the outside guys. They're the slot guys. They can just happen to play outside. You know? I mean, am I making sense?
Yeah.
This team is loaded. Rodney McLeod Jr. is a veteran, backing up Juan Thornhill, who's backed up by Hickman. Mike Ford, I mean, undrafted out of Atlanta. He made the roster. Cameron Mitchell. Where's Cameron Mitchell from? He's from Northwestern. Okay. So, punter, Corey, I always butcher this guy's name. Bergeres. He's got a good leg. He's got good accuracy. It's just we got to make sure though that he doesn't drop the ball. That he doesn't kick air in critical moments ever again, huh, Corey? uh, Dustin Hopkins. Now he's the new place kicker. He's the new place kicker because they drafted Cade York last year in the 4th round. Like I said, he made the kick that beat Baker Mayfield. I mean, the ball veered right, then left, and then up through the uprights, 60-something yards. I mean, it was a hell of a kick. And after that, he was just scattershot. And he never recovered. I mean, they were saying in training camp he was making all of his kicks, but in preseason, we lost. The preseason games that the Browns lost was because of him. Late in the 4th quarter, missing kicks. Especially with the game on the line. Game-winning kicks, twice. Game-winning kicks. Back-to-back games. He missed the kicks.
Do you think it has more to do with pressure?
Yeah.
His psychology.
I did a whole video because what it was, they were saying that a kicking coach got into his head and messed him up. They said that the same thing happened to another kicker. I mean, that's what they're saying. I don't know. But my whole thing was, hey, look, dude, cut out all the noise. Listen to your coaches. Your coaches are telling you just go with your best kick, which means just line it up with the uprights and then kick the hell out of it. Don't be worried about the wind. Okay? Don't worry about the wind. Don't worry about the degree of temperature and all of this shit. And, whose arm is the longest. Don't worry about none of that. Just aim for the crossbar, the middle of the crossbars. Just aim for it. That's all we want you to do. Just aim for it. And he couldn't do that. He was too in his head. He was screwed up. And his attitude was just so, but I get it, man. He was just so defeated. But I mean, the reporter was trying to help him though. Because people just wanted to know what's up? Like, are you okay? That's all we really wanted to know. Because in all honesty, I mean, do understand the guy, we did revere this guy as a hero. Okay? He was a hero. We wanted him to be on the team. Like, come on, 4th round pick, prove yourself. But the thing was, pressure just got to him. What can I say? So, I mean, I wish him the best. Dustin Hopkins, he's the best kicker that the Browns wanted to pay for a kicker. So they traded for him from the Chargers. All right, to take his place as they cut Cade York. And you could really tell that Kevin Stefanski was dejected that he had to do that. But hey, it's the NFL, man. Stands for not for long. I'll be bagging groceries. Little Jerry Glanville there. So I guess looks like they got DPJ and Jerome Ford returning kicks and punts. Well, then what was the point of having Marquise Goodwin? Wait, somebody's missing in the wide receiver room. Did they cut Grant? They cut Grant? They traded for this guy Grant to return kicks and punts. And you mean to tell me yeah, he's not even on the practice squad. Oh, okay. Here he is. Okay, he's on injured reserve. All right. Oh, okay. All right. So, all right. He's on the reserve. All right. Because he's supposed to be the kick returner. They got him specifically for that. All right. So, I don't know what's going on with the Anthony Schwartz situation. Like, you got to be kidding me. I mean, he gave a valiant performance in the preseason, but dude, football is just not, at least wide receiver, it's not in his future. It's just not. So they got a strong roster overall. All right. They got a strong roster overall. From what I saw from Deshaun Watson in the Kansas City preseason game, was that he understands the design of the offense. And if it breaks down, or if he's unsure, then of course he has, the option. All right. He has the option. If he goes through his reads or if he's in trouble, he can get out of the pocket. And he's not always looking to run, but he'll run if he has to. And of course, he's smart enough to slide. So there's that. All right. So, I mean, you get a better version of Lamar Jackson, in all honesty. He's just not as slippery. Almost like Joe Burrow. You understand? Because Joe Burrow is not as athletic as he is. He's not always looking to run. He's just buying time getting out of the pocket because his offensive line has been trash. But he's always looking to throw. His eyes are always downfield. You know what I'm saying? Bengals fan.
Yes, sir.
I'm asking you about your quarterback.
Joe Burrow. I think we're going 6-11 this year.
Why?
With the injury, I mean, I think we had a good run. We probably going to do bad this year and rebound next season.
Just because his knee is out?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so look, do you think he's playing Sunday?
I don't even know, but if I was the coach, I wouldn't even play him.
You know what? Let's find out.
I wouldn't even risk it. That's a franchise quarterback, and I wouldn't even take the chance. Even if it means the season.
All right. So no, I don't want to do with Colin. because it might be copyrighted. Cincinnati Bengals talk. All right, let's go to Cincinnati Bengals talk. Maybe they'll be kind. Somebody, please shut off that god awful music. No.
And we heard from him today at Paycor Stadium. Hi again, everyone, and welcome into Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I'm James Rapien of allbengals.com here at Paycor Stadium, where the Bengals getting set for Sunday's regular season opener in Cleveland against the Browns. And Joe Burrow was asked a ton of questions today. It was an extended news conference for Joe for a variety of reasons. And the biggest one, obviously, he's missed roughly 5 weeks. It was a day short of 5 weeks. We haven't heard from him in over 6 weeks because of the calf strain he suffered on July 27th. So he answered questions about that, about the contract, and much, much more. Let's start with the injury, and that's where the news conference started. I asked him about the past 6 weeks and what's it been like, and he was preceded by
telling me to go check myself. No, I'm kidding. I got to get that copyright break.
And then different reporters proceeded to ask him questions about the injury specifically.
What have the past 6 weeks or so been like for you?
Boring. Just a lot of hard work to try to get healthy, try to get back. So I'm in a good spot.
You feel like you're ready to go for a week?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. We're going to see how these next couple of days play out because you never know with these things, but I'm expecting to play. Like I said, we'll see how these next couple of days go.
Can you walk us through kind of what, because we haven't talked to you since it happened, can you walk us through what happened on the plane?
Yeah, just a muscle strain. So it just takes a while to get back from those. They're finicky and got to spend a lot more time healing than you anticipate. And so we're in that process right now.
Did you think it was worse than it was originally when you first got on that cart?
No, I knew what it was. I know what an Achilles feels like. I knew it wasn't that. So I was obviously disappointed, but knew what it was.
You were wearing a sleeve, so there was a lot of questions of the sleeve. If you had already hurt your calf, was that?
I wouldn't say I hurt it. It was a little tight that day, but definitely wouldn't say it was an injury before that.
You had a workout before the Green Bay game. Did you feel good after that? Was that the first encouraging step for you?
Yeah, I felt good after that. There were good days and bad days throughout the whole process, and like I said, the process is ongoing. There's good days and bad days, but plan is to be ready to go.
Wait a minute. So you mean tell me all of this fuss is because of a muscle pull?
That's why I won't even play him.
All of this is because of a muscle pull?
I wouldn't play him.
Why not?
Remember KG? Golden State? It could lead to something else. Let the leg totally heal. And football is a more physical sport compared to basketball. Nah. And look.
So you think that could lead to a tear?
Yes. And look, and let's be honest, Cleveland is aware of Joe Burrow's situation, and you don't think they're going to be attacking those wheels if they could?
Well, okay, Myles Garrett is not a cheap shot artist. I've never known Zadarius Smith with the tape that I've seen on him.
No, I'm not saying being dirty or malicious. I'm talking about, being within the confines of the rules. And Joe Burrow is a mobile quarterback.
And those are some heavy dudes.
Yeah, and you force him out the pocket. Nope. Don't play him. Do not play him. I
Yeah,
rather
Miles Garrett can chase you down. So can Smith.
yeah. That's why I say don't play him. I rather not make the playoffs this season and him being healthy so we can have future success.
So how many games would you sit him out for?
So his leg is totally healed. I don't care if it means the whole season. I do not care.
Yeah, because really, that's the let's be honest, that's the franchise.
That's the franchise.
That's the franchise. Who's the backup?
Let me look. Let me look at the Bengals roster.
Hold on. I can pull it up.
All right.
I can pull it up. Jake Browning. Who? Out of Washington. Okay, he's got some playing history. He's been in the NFL, for a minute. He's 27. Okay. Wow. Won 39 starts, the most ever by a Pac-12 quarterback. Holds numerous Washington season and career records. Received all-conference mention 3 straight years, as well as academic all-conference mention. Has a chance to develop borderline measurables and pro physical skills. Okay. 2018 stats. 252 and 388. 3,000 yards. 64%. 16 touchdowns, 10 picks. 139 yards rushing. Okay, 4 touchdowns, so he's mobile. All right. He was the 7th round. Okay. Free agent. Okay. So the franchise is in his hands.
Yeah. Don't play him. And if they start my man and he has something like a career ender, fire the offensive coordinator and the head coach. Do not play him.
Let's see what else he had to say.
What are the good things you like?
Feel normal. Bad days feel a little tight, but that's what injuries are. Good days and bad days, and you just power on and move on.
Yesterday, good day.
Today was a great day. Yeah, felt good.
How important will it be, Joe, for you to have confidence to move around in the pocket, not just get your legs under you and throw the ball down the field, but make sure you can avoid a guy like Miles Garrett?
Yeah, that's what these days of practice are for, and that's why this week of practice has been and will be really important. We're feeling out that process right now. Will I, the next couple of days, tomorrow we're in pads, and so
They're trying to see if he can play on it, if he can be mobile. So they're mimicking that in practice.
I will even practice him. Sit your ass down. I know you're a competitive person. We know who you are, but we can't take that chance. You got to take the keys from him. Sit your ass down.
Yeah, because look, it's a cycle. It's like one day he's feeling fine, so then he'll go out there and practice, and then the next day he can't practice because his leg is stiff. Like, yeah, because you're rushing it. You're not giving your leg a chance to heal.
Get your treatment. Continue to get your treatment and rehab. Sit your ass down.
Yeah, they're rushing it. Watch they mess around there. Watch they mess around there and starting.
Bay, keep your mouth shut.
Look, man. I've already said, and I'll put it on record again. Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in the division. All right. I don't care what nobody can. I don't care. I understand Deshaun Watson stats, but excuse me. Out of every quarterback in this division, which one has played in 2 AFC championship games and was a drive away from winning the Super Bowl? Which one of the 4?
Joe Burrow,
Who else?
Mahomes.
No, I mean in the AFC North.
Joe Burrow.
North. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else?
Nope.
What's the next stat? Who else won a playoff game?
Joe
Raise
Burrow.
your hand.
Burrow.
Who else won a playoff game in the division? In the AFC North. Yeah, exactly. Nobody.
Nobody. Yeah. Did Baltimore make the playoffs? Nope. Did they? Last year?
No. Because what's the name was hurt. Jackson was hurt. Lamar Jackson. That's why they didn't want to give him the guaranteed contract money. He kept getting hurt. He's been injury prone. And they don't believe that he can, be successful in the spread offense. And I'm like, well, he can be successful in the spread offense. It's just
Well, that's another story. I mean, I see his fate as RG3. I mean, his athleticism is a curse to him. Where you got these freaking coaches. I mean, keep it like make him develop being a pocket quarterback. I mean, and I'm not even going to get racial here, but his athleticism has been a curse to him, making him trying to be the whole fucking offense, and that's why he's getting hurt. Keep his butt in the pocket. Develop. Baltimore needs to get a better offensive line to protect him and have a strong running and passing game. Receivers and a running back.
They keep blaming it on his receivers, but I'm like, it's not the receivers. It's the scheme of the offense. Plus you're not developing him. I mean, the defenses can see the play coming a mile away.
Yeah.
They're not stupid. They know it's one-on-one coverage.
Yeah, I mean,
they're probably gonna take a shot.
And look at it. I mean that type of play only gets you so far.
Right.
Look at a prototype. Yeah, Randall Cunningham with the Eagles running, but he was a far superior quarterback when he was a pocket passer with Minnesota. Look at Michael Vick with Atlanta. He was with the Falcons. Yeah, it was working, but people had his number when he got so far, deep
in the playoffs.
People figured him out. But when he became a pocket passer at Philadelphia, that was, to me, maybe because I'm biased towards being, what a traditional quarterback is. To me, Philadelphia, Michael Vick was better than Atlanta.
They got the best out of him because they developed him. They worked on developing him to where he learned to throw from the pocket.
And where's RG3 right now?
Calling black people racial slurs on ESPN. Oh, no, wait. They let him go. I forgot. Arguing on Twitter about Mike Shanahan being a horrible quarterback coach. And it's like, well, dude, although they took you with the number 1 pick, they also took Kirk Cousins with the number 4 in the 4th round as an insurance policy.
And has Steve Young ZTE kicked in yet?
Why?
Because he got a couple of marbles knocked loose.
Well, Kirk Cousins is playing in playoff games in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Mike Shanahan made the wise choice. Like, I mean, it wasn't necessarily his fault that you didn't know how to throw from the pocket yet. So he just ran the same offense you ran in college. Unfortunately, we all know what happened to his knee. We all saw that.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't have been out there. Everybody knew it, but he took the risk. Ultimately, it's on the player, but he took the risk. He
Sit
shouldn't have
your
played
ass
for the
down.
game. Yeah, like, dude, this is not. And after that, he never learned to develop how to throw from the pocket. He was still trying to prove that he's this athletic quarterback. Like, no, like, don't do that. Learn how to throw from the pocket. And he just couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. That's why that's why he was on TV calling black people racial slurs on ESPN as an analyst. Meanwhile, Kirk Cousins is out in Minnesota, and Mike Shanahan is going to NFC championship games and Super Bowls in San Francisco. And this is the messed up part. I told Snowman, I told him when Brock Purdy when he got them into the NFC championship game, I said, win, lose, or draw, they're going to have to trade Trey Lance before the season starts. You know what I'm saying? They're going to have to trade him before the season starts. They'll probably wind up trading him in the preseason. And sure enough, that's what happened. He's gone. You know, he was gone. They took him to Dallas. And everybody's acting like Dallas got a steal and Trey Lance. And I'm like, like Dion says, look at the tape. Just look at the tape. Like, look at the tape. Like, Shanahan, again, smartly, last pick in the draft, Mr. Irrelevant, a quarterback from Stanford, who turned out to look like fucking the second coming of Joe Montana. No telling how that game would have turned out if he wouldn't have got hurt. That dude was he was averaging about 4 touchdowns a game. It was usually like something like 3 passing, 1 rushing, 2 passing, 2 rushing, 4 passing. This dude was amazing. Now that he's straight, they saw him in preseason and camp. He looks good. That arm injury to his throwing arm, the elbow, everything's fine. You got them right. They got rid of Trey Lance. In Dallas, unfortunately, y'all, the Jerry Jones of the the Al Davis of the NFC. Jerry Jones, yeah, he thinks he got Dak's replacement. Okay, you go right ahead and continue to sink that franchise. That's a sucker's deal. I still watch the Niners. That's a sucker's deal. The best they could get for him was a 4th round pick. That was lucky. The tape was screaming 6 at best. People are trying to blame it on the inexperience. It's like, okay, well, 6th round pick. He's a developmental quarterback. It's going to take him a couple of years. He's going to have to sit the bench. He's going to have to be a third string quarterback. I don't know what the man. Ooh. There's a sucker born every minute, huh?
Yep.
If I was Dak Prescott, I would not be worried. Trust me. If anything, you know what will probably happen? Dak will probably have like a couple of bad games, maybe some close wins, maybe a close loss, whatever. But he'll have a bad game where he throws no touchdowns, maybe a couple picks, a couple turnovers, like a fumble or something. You know, whatever. A Dak Prescott type of game. He has those. He goes through that. He's an up and down. He's a streaky fourth round draft pick quarterback. He's going to have those. And they're going to mess around there and bench him for Trey Lance. Okay. Because Jarrah is the GM, is going to suggest it. And Trey Lance is going to go out there and make a plumb fool of himself. And then everybody's going to see that, wow, no wonder the 49ers traded him so quickly. They got what for that fourth round pick? I'm sorry, man. I'm just predicting the future. But the fucked up part about it is, look, this is how it'll work out. I say this because this is how it's gonna work out. Dak Prescott he's gonna want out. Okay? He's gonna want out. And you've signed him to this big contract. Okay? Trey Lance is gonna be a disaster. You probably gonna move on from him. And you're gonna need a veteran quarterback that's gonna steady the ship. All right, until you get, find a quarterback to replace him. So in Denver, Russell Wilson will be a wash. I think his best years are behind him. There ain't no fooling nobody.
He's done.
Yeah, Seattle robbed. Actually, Denver robbed themselves in that trade and in the contract. Like, what the hell were y'all thinking? Did y'all not see the tape of his last year in Seattle? You goddamn right. Seattle pulled the trigger on that deal.
His future is either on CBS, NFL team, or NFL Network.
No, he's unlikable. He's unlikable. People say he's unlikable. Even his own teammates. You see, they're yelling at him and stuff. He's unlikable. You heard what Richard Sherman and them said about him, how standoffish he was. I mean, they meaned him with the girl, the airport girl, talking about that guy is unreal. And they meaned him with they put Russell Wilson working out on the plane. Because when Denver played overseas last year, when they was flying on the intercontinental flight, where everybody trying to sleep, this motherfucker doing wind sprints and knee bends and shit up and down the aisles.
Seriously?
Yes. In the middle of the night.
And they ain't tell his ass to sit the fuck down?
He was having a string of bad games. And I think he was trying to send the message of how focused he was on
a fucking plane,
playing his best at this game. Okay. And of course, they went out and got their asses kicked. uh, so now they hired Sean Payton, of course. And I think Sean Payton is going to see that Russell Wilson is washed. Try saying that 3 times fast. Russell Wilson is washed.
Well, if anybody's going to run him out, it's going to be Sean Payton.
Right.
Right now.
Right. So trading Dak Prescott's contract for Russell Wilson's contract, Dallas would have the cap room. All right. And so would Denver, because then they wouldn't have to absorb the dead money space.
Well,
and neither would Dallas on Dax if they trade the contracts.
Well, wasn't it Sean Payton that got the most when he was the offensive coordinator with Dallas? That really got the most out of oh God, the one before Dak Prescott.
Tony Romo?
Yeah, Romo.
No, he was in New Orleans. He was out there with Drew Brees.
No, but he was the offensive coordinator with Dallas under Bill Parcells.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was. Was Tony? Oh yeah, that's right. Tony Romo was
the quarterback.
Because first it was first he had Drew Bledsoe.
Yeah.
And Keyshawn Johnson, and they got into the fight on the sideline.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, all right, and then that's when Romo came in. Because at first he started off with the one quarterback, the black quarterback. He was just terrible. He was terrible. I mean, there were rumors about, anyway. So, all right, and then he wound up becoming the Saints head coach. Okay, and luckily Drew Brees fell into his lap. He got lucky, because if Drew Brees would have went to Miami, he would have showed out. They'd have been like, oh yeah, finally we got us a quarterback since Dan Marino. But instead, he went to New Orleans. Him and Sean Payton, they made beautiful music together. I think if oh, you want to say something?
Yeah, I mean, look, Drew Brees should never ever pay for a pot of gumbo or crawfish for the rest of his life in New Orleans for what he done down there.
Yeah, because man, if the NFL is scripted, it was a beautiful story. It was a beautiful story. It was a beautiful story, especially how they won the Super Bowl with the pick six. It was a beautiful story.
Now, let me ask you this as a Cleveland fan. If the Browns win a Super Bowl, okay, would that erase in Cleveland LeBron James?
No.
Because look, Cleveland is a football town.
No, because LeBron James, look, I'll tell you like I told Snowman, we don't care what y'all got to say about LeBron James. Just tell us what you want us to put on the plaque. All right, just tell us what you want us the plaque to say. Because he's getting a statue in Cleveland. Just tell us what you want us to put on the plaque, and we'll put it on there. We don't care what it says. Just say it. Say it all. We'll put up several plaques. We don't give a fuck. That's why I don't the LeBron Michael Jordan argument. Who cares? Who cares? Two different players, two different eras, two different cities. Different. The rules have changed. Who cares?
He's the best player of this generation.
Shit, exactly. Shit.
I mean,
Steph Curry is second. Maybe. It's debatable. I don't know.
look, LeBron James is the best. Right now we currently in the Steph Curry era, but the past generation you had LeBron James. Before that, you had Kobe
Mm-hmm.
/ Duncan. And before that, you had Jordan.
Yeah. You had a void, really.
Yeah.
When Jordan went to Washington, I mean, he was just out there just, passing the time. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have a team around him. He was just out there playing aggressive gym. He was trying to find himself something to do.
And he was trying to build up ticket sales for the Wizards.
Yeah, thinking he was gonna get some front office shit going, ownership and all of that, only to find out that he was getting played for a sucker. Like, well, what the fuck are you talking about? I ain't giving you a piece of nothing. Thanks for the money. He sped away in his drop top sports car.
Yeah.
I think it was a BMW.
Thank you for the sales of those sales of those number 23 Wizard jerseys.
Yeah. Man, you did wonders for tickets and merchandise sales. Television contracts went up. Man, woo. People were selling newspapers left and right. Hotel rooms booked with media. The city ate off of him. That's why I understand what LeBron. That's why I was upset about LeBron leaving. It had nothing to do with championships. It had everything to do with the economic base of what was going on downtown in Cleveland. Because everybody figured he would stay, even the city. So they were building up that downtown area, the flats and everything. That were the between the stadium. Between the Brown Stadium and the basketball arena.
Well,
right.
if that's the case, right, wouldn't it behoove? Well, you know that the business owners doesn't have an ear to the owner of the Cavs, but wouldn't it behoove that the people in the circle of the Cavs owner keep your ego in check? We have the golden goose here. And if LeBron stays, the city of Cleveland is building up economically, which means everybody's going to make money.
Well, here's the thing.
You don't fuck with the golden goose.
Here's the thing. LeBron did do in the end, LeBron did make the right decision. How he did it, how he went about it was horrible. But he did say one thing that turned out to be true. He said, in order for the Cavs to become a championship team, I have to leave. I have to leave, which means that the team has to suck. And because the team sucked, who did they wind up getting? Who was the number one draft pick? Kyrie Irving. And Kyrie Irving had to learn how to play basketball in the NBA. He had to learn how to be the face of a team as a young player, just like LeBron had to learn. And he went through some struggles. I mean, he was getting hurt every year. He was injury prone because he was trying to go to the hole too much. And them guys are way bigger than him. So he was taking a beating. All right, he was taking a beating. So that's when they started getting pieces around him. And then that's when LeBron came back. All right. LeBron came back. And of course, we all know the story. And, then they wound up coming back and they won the championship. LeBron, that Cavs win, that's up there. Okay. That's ranked number 1. So we don't care what y'all got to say. We'll make several plaques. Say what you want to say. We'll put them on the plaques and call it a day around the statue. You know what I'm saying? If the Browns win the Super Bowl, cool. Kevin Stefanski and, even Deshaun Watson, Lyle Hosanna. Yeah, you was right. Them bitches was just out for some money. We read the case files. Good Lord, the girls, they were attacking you. Oh my God, you should read some of them text messages, man. These chicks was like taking it upon themselves. Do you understand?
Mhm.
Instagram models. Massage therapists from Instagram. He wound up getting an addiction.
Oh, Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, he wound up getting an addiction to
Craigslist?
he wound up getting addicted to massage therapists from Instagram.
Yeah, I call it the new Craigslist.
Yeah. So 4 of them actually did they weren't on that shit. All right. The rest of them were not credible. One girl, her son ratted her out. She was like the 5th witness that the judge had selected to have credible testimony. But when they interviewed her son ratted her right the fuck out. Talked about, how she did something with Deshaun Watson and how he might be his new stepdaddy and all of this shit. I mean, she just thought she bagged her a rich one. Said she bragged about it. And now here she is talking about being assaulted. Like, get the fuck out of here. So only 4 were found to be credible. But the thing was that he didn't say anything. He didn't necessarily do anything, but the massages that he was normally ordering with the willing participant girls involved, erogenous zones, and there may have been some accidental touching because of, stimulation through purposeful intent. You understand?
Yep.
Right. So, I mean, is it bad if that's the underground practice? The girls who are in the know, they already know because, this is how they make a living. Because a teammate passed him the business card. He was really looking for a legit massage because, the Texans team was trash. Everybody was in the training room. He's like, shit, where can I get a quiet massage away from this place? Teammate was like, oh, yeah, hold on here. Call this chick. Tell her I sent you. $66 in total. Only 24 was trying to get some money, and only 4 were found to be credible. The boy had an addiction. That's nervous laughter. That's not me laughing in support. That's nervous laughter. Like, oh my God.
Keep all massage parlors closed down in the Cleveland area during football season. That's all.
Oh my God. I mean, but it's behind him now. I know. I just want to be clear. It's behind him now. All of that is, he gave the chicks, because the most the chicks got each was $100. The most they got was $200,000 each. $100,000 from him and $100,000 from the Houston Texans. And more chicks sued the Houston Texans. 30 chicks sued the Houston Texans out of the 24 that sued him. So, here, everybody got their money. One chick is coming back trying to get more. It's now she's trying to jump on the train, whatever. He's going to fight her case because he's got evidence proving that, in all honesty, what these women were engaging in was, services.
Well, let's just hope he's not in need of any more physical therapy. Okay.
Right. So, but all that is behind him now. You can see that in the preseason. He looks sharp. Mary Kay Cabot was posting clips from training camp. He was looking crisp. All right. Making the right reads, that long ball, that deep ball. Oh, he was hitting on it. So, I'm ready to see what they're going to do with this spread offense. I'm ready to see what they're going to do with that. I think the Bengals 4-3 is not ready. I don't think the linebackers are ready for Nick Chubb. Not on a head-on tackle. All right? Not on a head-on tackle. That dude is a goddamn nightmare. He's a freight train. You should see his workout videos. I mean, he looked like he's benching the whole rack. Well, not benching, but squatting. It looked like he's squatting the whole rack. Whew. The biggest thing that we as Browns fans say is that he's underutilized. Like, it'll be like 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 1, and he's not even on the field. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Put Nick Chubb in the backfield and run behind the best run blocking offensive line in the league and get the goddamn first down. He's proven to break that for at least a good 20. Because he runs right through the linebackers. Heaven help you if there's a defensive back between Nick Chubb and the first down. That guy's going to get trampled. Stupid play calling. That's what the only thing that will hold this team back this year. But luckily, it looks like finally we have a defense that will keep us in games by just smothering the other team. You got 2 defensive tackles that can push the guards and the center back into the pocket. You got 2 defensive ends that can get to the quarterback quick, fast, in a hurry. Myles Garrett is the best defensive end in the league. Zadarius Smith is like what, maybe like the third or fourth best. You know, he had 10 sacks before he hurt his knee. And after that, his production fell off. But he was playing with a leg injury. But he's fine now. And plus, he has help. Plus, Jim Schwartz, he likes to rotate his defensive tackles and defensive ends. He likes to keep them fresh. So therefore, it's a steady barrage against the offensive line. You just wear down the line. Ooh. Yeah, y'all need to sit Joe Burrow.
See where I'm coming from?
Yeah. Y'all need to sit Joe Burrow because y'all lying. I mean, I know y'all got that, you know, what is it, the Slater Jr. guy or whatever, the new left tackle. I know y'all got that new guy, but that's Myles Garrett. We have seen this guy fight off the triple team block to get a sack. That's the left tackle, left guard, and either a tight end or a running back. And he went wide, then went looped in, and then smacked the quarterback right in the chest. Whack! Sacked. Because he just outran him. It was like a basketball move. He went right, spun left, and was right in the quarterback's chest. He olayed their asses. Zadarius Smith can do the same thing. Poor Joe Burrow. So more than likely, if he doesn't play this week, if there's no tightness or swelling, then they'll probably start him the week after. Unfortunately. In the way I see it, the way that they scheduled it, right? So Browns play the Bengals because as far as they're concerned, based on roster and predictions, in coaching, it looks like the Browns and Bengals will be fighting for division supremacy. So they gave them the week 1 game, and then the Browns Bengals close out week 18 against each other. All right, so where's this game?
We are in Cleveland, week 1. And so then guess what? Then we got the Ravens week 2.
Okay.
Then wait. Then the Rams week 3.
Okay, so Ravens, their defensive line is trash, so that's a winnable game. Then you say the Rams. Rams is a shitty roster, so that's a win. Go on.
Then we are in Tennessee.
That's a tough one.
Then Arizona.
That's a win.
Then the Seahawks come to Cincinnati.
That's a tough one.
Then
depending on if your boy Geno Smith hasn't imploded.
And then we at the 49ers.
Oh, that's a tough one.
And guess what? Then Buffalo is in Cincinnati. I told you we might go 6-11 this season.
That's
Do you
a
see the
tough
schedule? Then we got Houston. And then look, now we in the second half. We in Baltimore, then Pittsburgh. This Pittsburgh the first time.
one. Mhm.
Then we in Jacksonville. Then Indianapolis come to us. Then we
That's
play the
right.
Vikings.
That's a
Then
tough.
Pittsburgh again.
That's a
And
tough.
then the Chiefs.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Look, in the last game, Cleveland,
Yeah, and that's a tough one.
6-11.
Yeah, that's you know what? That's a brutal schedule for Joe Burrow to be having a leg injury on.
6-11.
That's a brutal schedule for him to have a leg injury on. I mean, it's a lot of tough games.
Because we got the because remember the North is playing the NFC West.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we pretty much got the same schedule.
Yeah. We got the West.
The good news is we've got an NFC defensive-minded coach. All right. As far as the defensive coordinator, Jim Schwartz, he believes in getting to the quarterback.
Because
All
now we're like, I see this for the foreseeable future. The Bengals going to be playing the Chiefs and the Bills for a while because that's like a rivalry right now between those three teams.
Chiefs and Bills.
Yep.
Bills. Yeah.
Bills, Chiefs, and Bengals.
I think the Bills messed up when they didn't give Cook a contract. Because that's the one thing that they really miss from their offense. They need a power runner that can play from the spread. Or if you decide to put two tight ends out there, he can play from that set. You know what I'm saying? He's a power runner that can play from any set, any offensive set. Single back, full back, shotgun. He got it. Plus, he can catch. He'd have been perfect for Buffalo. At any rate, I kind of get the feeling that this is going to be a down year for Buffalo.
This is going to be a down year for us.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Buffalo is going to feel it. I think Buffalo's going to feel it.
Like real honestly, because it is the way they making this set up is going to be parity throughout the NFL, but this is the era of the Chiefs.
I don't know. I mean, look, he's now got
two rings,
brand new wide receivers. All right. From what I've seen, a left tackle that can't block worth a damn.
As long as Andy Reid decides to be with that team, they're going to always be in contention.
Right. I think his job is going to get a lot harder.
Who, Andy Reid?
No,
Mahomes?
Yeah. I think his job is going to get a lot harder because, I mean, if you keep flipping over his wide receiving core, all right, it's hard for him to develop cohesion with guys. You know, like,
I mean, this is the state of the NFL now. Everybody wants, like, even like, because I listen to a lot of the interviews, these players want money over championships. Now, if they're fortunate enough to get a championship, they definitely going to want that bag. They're chasing money.
I'm glad you said that because that leads to the discussion of Andrew Berry, Browns GM. This roster that he's comprised, the
Is
free
win
agent,
now. Is win now.
they're all on team-friendly deals. They're on team-friendly deals. Zadarius Smith was the top-rated pass rusher, edge rusher in free agency, and he got him on a team-friendly deal. I mean, he got the most money for his position. Not like, but it's not. But he didn't get Myles Garrett money. You understand?
Uh-huh.
He got some good money. The defensive tackle, he got some good money, but they didn't get break the bank money. These absorbent contracts, they didn't get that, but they got good money. Then everybody else got like really good team friendly deals. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they wanted to build a championship roster. They didn't even want to like build a super team, like built on players who were trying to get a payday. Like, let's win a championship now. Shoot, you had players like Myles Garrett restructuring his contract. Jedrick Wills, the left tackle, restructuring his contract. Even Deshaun Watson and Njoku, the tight end. These guys were restructuring their contracts. So that's why the Browns got the most cap space in the NFL.
And this is like the current structure now in the NFL, because with the parity, you got a set of teams. No way in hell you're gonna win. And then you got teams that's rebuilding, and then you got teams that is in contention, but they're not gonna win. And then you have teams it's win now.
Yeah, and this team right now, I would say with the core pieces that they already have in place, and with the people who they could probably re-sign if they get close, or even if they fail, they can go out and get a replacement. That's exactly what they did. People, they put all of this pressure on the shoulders of Deshaun Watson. Can he play up to the guaranteed money? The answer is yes. He just needed talent behind him. Yeah, he took a year off. He had the legal troubles. He came back rusty. And in all honesty, Kevin Stefanski did not put him in a good position to look his best. He should have continued running the same offense that he was running with Jacoby Brissett, which was, 7-yard dumps to Njoku, power running game. All right, screen passes, play action passes, no spread stuff. Why are you running the spread in the snowstorm against New Orleans? What are you doing? New Orleans is beating you with the quarterback running the wishbone. And you're running the spread. You're throwing the ball in the end zone. I mean, Deshaun Watson threw 2 touchdown passes, but unfortunately, they were both dropped. I mean, that's how good he is. But that was some dumb play calling. Luckily, we'll have a defense that can overcome that. Hopefully. Yeah, I credit that to Andrew Berry. It looks like this year he hit on his draft picks. Right? Cedric Tillman looks good. Hickman looks good. Right? The center from Ohio State looks good. The right tackle, Jones, looks good. You kidding me? Dorian Robinson, quarterback, looks good. Sky's the limit and the limit's the sky. So, all right. That's really my review of the roster and what's going on with this game. Lewis, the Bengals fan, he gave us his opinion. He said, just sit Joe Burrow. And I agree. For the sake of the franchise, sit Joe Burrow. You know, and you can't, not every season is going to be at all. I mean, it might, I put it to you like this. Will it cost Zach Wilson, or will it coach? I'm sorry, not Zach Wilson. Will it cost the coach his job? Zach Taylor. Will it cost Zach Taylor his job?
No. Nope.
Yeah, because I mean, he did keep Marvin Lewis around for a long time, but at least Marvin Lewis was getting them to the playoffs. Okay, so all right, well, let's get out of here. Thanks, Lewis, for participating. Let's go to bed. Well, I'm not with each other. That's anyway. So, thanks for participating. I am tired. I'm sleepy as hell. Man, it's 2:41 a.m.
Yeah.
Any last words?
Be good to others, but first and foremost, be good to yourself.
All right. Peace.